Here.
Here.
We all stand and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? Eternal God, as we begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen, we ask that you arouse in our hearts a hunger and thirst for justice and peace, so that our actions will be guided by the desire to secure justice and equality for every member of our community. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we need to amend the agenda for the closed meeting that we had last time.
All right. I have a motion to do that.
I move we add the approval of the minutes of the closed meeting.
Second.
Motion by Rick Flynn, second by Holly Levine to amend the agenda to include the minutes of the closed session on 12/27/24. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative with 1 absent. Now the other changes to the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion by LaDonna Allen. Who did that?
Dave.
Second by David Pyle to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent. The agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda. I guess we go here now, which is the approval of the minutes of the previous meetings, both open and closed on 12/27/24. Are there any comments or questions to the consent agenda?
Make motion we approve it.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Rick Flynn, that we approve the consent agenda of the as amended with the adding the closed minutes on there. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent. That is also approved. This is public forum. Anyone wish to speak in public forum? Yes. I guess I better read this, Roger, although you've heard it 1,000 times. Richard, pardon me. All persons wishing to speak to the mayor and board of aldermen during the public comment portion of the meeting should come forward one at a time and stand at the podium and state your name and address and the subject matter you wish to comment upon. All comments should be directed to the mayor in a civil manner. Comments are limited to 5 minutes unless the mayor or board of aldermen grants additional time. It's the mayor's responsibility to maintain these rules are followed and to maintain order and decorum. If you have a question, the mayor and board of aldermen may, of course, provide an immediate response. However, the mayor and board of aldermen may also provide no response or response at their time as they deem appropriate. I'll get my little thing here that McGuire gave me. You got 5 minutes, buddy.
Put you in a radio advertisement.
30-second spot.
All right, Richard Garrett and 1021 Copper Oaks. I've been out of town a lot, so I haven't been here, but I was encouraged by the article in the paper that talked about last time you all talked about streetlights. And I would like to know why there are still 4 lights between Pennell and here on Main Street that are out. They're decorative lights. I don't know. And I have noticed they've been out for years, quite really, and we've mentioned it before. But is there a plan, and how is Empire, Liberty, whatever they are, how are they responding, and how are we following up to make sure that is improved?
LaDonna, how many did you find?
75. Well, over 75. But those were the ones, they don't have numbers on them, but I told Steve about them. And there's also those 4 big metal ones down on the other side of the Vogue that we told about. And I think they're still out. So I don't know if
They are fixing them right now.
Yeah.
How long do we think it'll take?
Well, they can't do 75 of them in one. They can't do 75 of them in one day. So, did they give you a timeline on it?
Yeah.
Liberty's very independent. It's like they're their only electric supplier.
I guess.
Are we paying, do we pay for these decorative ones?
Yes, just
Okay.
like we do any of the others. We
So-
pay the energy charge and that's it.
Okay, I didn't know if we paid for those. What about the 4 big ones by the Vogue? Are we paying for those or are those Liberty?
I assume that we pay energy charge on those also.
And I understand where you're coming from. Because if we're paying for them,
I just want some follow-up done, and especially if Liberty is slow to respond, they need more follow-up. And so something has to be, a process has to be put into place to catch them in the future as well.
Well, they are doing it. I mean, they've got the ones fixed on Pinnell, right?
they've got several of them.
Yeah,
I
they're working
know
on it.
they are fixing them, but
It's not like they're not doing anything.
where those didn't have numbers, might not be a bad idea to remind them because they didn't have numbers to enter into the thing. So
Jay?
Them decorative lights up here have a little tag on the bottom of them.
oh, they do on the bottom.
Yeah.
Ah, see, we were looking for them all where the others were.
Yeah, they're just a small tag, about that wide, about that big.
So maybe we could go up
The
and
big,
get those.
the big steel one you're talking about, I don't know if they've got tags or not.
We didn't see any on them, but we were pulled over like shining lights, getting ready to have the cops called on us. So, but we didn't see any on the big ones.
The one at Joplin and Briarburg Drive down there. That was, I know, I turned that one in. It's already turned in and now it's fixed. I mean, they're working on it. It just takes them a while to get to 75 of them.
Yeah, at least, and that was 75, I think, without these.
Yeah.
So,
Anybody else like, thank you, Richard, by the way, thank you. Anyone else like to speak at public forum? Last call for public forum. Very well, then we'll move on to, next is approval of a quote from Tyler Technologies for upgrading utility building software. Steve?
Elena?
This goes along with the contract you approved several months ago to upgrade the utility billing software on the meter side so that we can get more up-to-date readings. This just goes with our utility billing side so that the two can talk to each other. Is all this is.
Any questions that anybody can answer?
I did follow up after we got the packet and confirm that the funding for this will come between sewer or wastewater and water funds. So we do have the funds available as far as budget.
Very good. So what do we need now? Need to approve the quote?
How quickly will this go into place?
Right now, what did people say? We're waiting on.
They're supposed to receive the last of the product in February, the end of February, and then they can get started on it. I contacted Optic about making sure that we had communication at the water tower over off Gum Road. They still have to do that too. So
And I
So
guess
I'm gonna
this is like
say
our-
it'll take them, I would hope that by the end of March,
And this is our only option for this.
yes.
Yeah, because I mean, it's either that or completely change our utility billing software.
All right, you know, I see Tyler and I recall our,
I understand.
Past dealings.
The utility billing side, though, we not.
I understand it, yeah, they have a lot.
So, thankfully.
Okay, thank you.
I move we approve the quote from Tyler Technologies.
Second.
Motion led by Allen, second by
Walt.
Walter Hayes. We approve the quote from Tyler Technologies. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, and that's it. The quote is approved. Do we need an ordinance on that? Steve?
I don't believe so.
We won't pay them until they deliver their services, right?
Okay, good.
And I think once, if it's paid after it's delivered, we don't need a contract or an ordinance.
Very good. Next is ordinances. First is an ordinance approving a settlement agreement with Marlena Ellington.
I move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by David Pyle. We put this ordinance on first read by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving a settlement and release agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Marlena Ellington, providing the terms and conditions thereof and authorizing the mayor and or city administrator to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion? Anybody want to talk about it? Mr. Talley?
These numbers are correct.
Yes, sir.
This is the settlement that was discussed in closed session. And beyond that discussion, I don't have anything to add, I think.
All right. Any further discussion?
I move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Rick Glenn to put this ordinance on the second reading by title only. Clerk, please read the title.
An ordinance approving a settlement and release agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Marlena Ellington, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the mayor and or city administrator to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any further discussion?
Make a motion, we put it on final passage. Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by David Pyle. I'm sorry, I can't tell you guys tomorrow.
That's all right.
Then we put this ordinance on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative. Please vote electronically if the thing works. The screen is not.
All right. It's working. It's just not showing.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. 7 in the affirmative with 1 absence. The ordinance passes. That is ordinance number
2501.
2501.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
just for the council's information, the minutes of the closed session that were approved earlier in the consent agenda, once this settlement has been concluded and release is signed, then those minutes will become public.
Good. Good. Thank you. Next is the ordinance approving a change order number 2 with G&G Construction for the 2024 wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Holly Levine to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving change order number 2 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and G&G Construction to complete the 2024 wastewater treatment plant improvements for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 2 being to extend the contract from December 23rd, 2024 to January 31st, 2025, and also to add a 12-inch C channel at an additional cost of $3,090, increasing the total cost of the project by said amount, and authorizing the mayor to execute said change order number 2 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion?
So this 12-inch C channel that they're going to put in place for that price is, they've got an oxidation ditch that's been drained and cleaned, and they're going to put these C channels in place now so that when we change over that oxidation ditch that will have the bubblers in it, the channel's already there, and we won't have to drain the we won't have to pay them to drain the oxidation ditch and then put stuff in. They'll just be able to bolt it in place. So it's a little bit of future proofing.
Any further discussion?
You want to put it on second reading by title only?
Second.
Rogers. Motion to put this ordinance on second reading by title only by Roger Spencer, second by Don Allen. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving change order number 2 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and G&G Construction to complete the 2024 wastewater treatment plant improvements for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 2 being to extend the contract from December 23rd, 2024 to January 31st, 2025, and also to add a 12-inch C channel at an additional cost of $3,090, increasing the total cost of the project by said amount, and authorizing the mayor to execute said change order number 2 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer to put this ordinance on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent. Please vote electronically. 7 in the affirmative with 1 absent. The ordinance passes. That is ordinance number.
2502.
Thank you. Next is the administration report. Any comments, corrections, or gripes to the city administrator?
Well, I have questions.
Or
as well.
or praises for him? I shouldn't say just gripes.
Thank
I have a couple of different questions.
Uh-huh.
First of all, on the special roads,
Yes.
when did that come to our attention?
This is actually what prompted me again was when I see the reimbursement that we get from the county for taxes collected.
Uh-huh.
That kind of prompted my thought process. The discussion actually goes back a long time to when Mary Beth was city clerk. And by state statute, we're supposed to receive either 25% of what they collect from our citizens in cash or in kind, either work that they do for us or they send us a check, one or the other. And that's been a long-standing conversation, back and forth, and it just was brought up again, and that's what prompted it.
Well, because even if you take the lower of the two levies, because there's no way actually without getting a hold of them to see how much they collect from each side of town.
There is a way.
Well, but I mean, not sitting here right now.
Right.
So even if you take the lower of the two on what they collect, divide it by 4, which would be 25%, we're looking at like $66,000 a year. And how
And
many?
it is both property
And real.
and it is both real and personal.
And if you take our pro forma that's got the numbers that I just
Yeah.
got, we're looking at $66,000 a year. That's your roundabout at Fur and Briarbrook, and that's Marie Lane, and that's Copper Oaks, and that's anything we need done on this side of town. We could be putting that money back into the streets. So who's going to do the audit?
I'm using the old Jasper County GIS director. His name's Chris Chappell. He works for OWN Engineering. And with GIS, he can separate north and south of Gum Road, where it's just the cutoff. And he's working on getting those properties and addresses into an Excel format.
How much are we paying him to do that? Because I do that every year for another.
$750.
I was going to say, because I do that every year for somebody else,
Yeah.
or every few years.
Yeah.
But who's going to do the audit of how much money they've actually put back into our streets? If they're not remitting cash directly.
No, and you know, that's going to be a memory thing that Jay and I are going to have to get together and say, do you remember what?
We need.
That's the only way we will know.
Well, we need it, but they are taxing entities. So do we need to get an audit of them? Because that's not chicken feed.
Nope.
I mean,
It's
depending on people's memory and them saying, well, yeah, we remember we paid such and such, or we did this and that. I mean, if we're going back, I don't know how far back you can go if there's a statute of limitations on it.
I am just doing that. I did not get into going any farther back because it would have been more money, of course, to do it. But I'm only doing that 2024 tax rolls. That's it.
Why?
Because it would cost more to go back on each one of them.
If we're talking $60-some thousand a year,
This is what, for both districts you're talking about?
yeah.
Because basically, if you're in the Eastern District, it's Carl Junction Road District. If you're in the Western District of the County
Well, north and
Commissioners.
south.
North and south.
If you're in the Eastern District of County Commissioners, that's the Carl Junction Special Road District. If you vote for the Western District County Commissioners, that's Joplin Special Road District. So it's split between the two different road districts.
Right, it splits it again. But between both of them, that's what I'm saying, between both of them, we're looking at least $66,000 this last year. Now, it's not going to be that much in years past because the property valuations have went up. But even if it's $50,000 a year, that we should have got for how many years? That's what I'm saying. Should we get some kind of an audit? I get it. We should have been telling them we wanted that money or we wanted in kind. But if we didn't, and if they know they're supposed to be paying us that, then it falls back on them too.
The last time I had a conversation with the Carl Junction Special Road District Board, I don't know how many years ago it was, they couldn't tell me how much they were getting in taxes. They just knew that they got a check in every month from the county.
And last election, no one ran for it.
Well,
No one ran for their board.
but it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
They have got to be they're legally responsible for that. We can go in and find out how much they collected. We can go and do, all of that is open record. So we can go find out how much they collected if they don't know how much they collected. And get a fourth. I'm just saying, our residents are paying that tax again. And if a fourth of it is supposed to come back to us, I put that thing out to explain to people how their taxes work, because they thought that money went to the city. And I told them, no, it doesn't. And then we find out a fourth of it was supposed to come back to the city.
It used to be that we got a lot of labor out of Carl Junction Special Road District. It was never tracked, which always bothered me. But we got a lot of labor out of them, out of their man, to help us on big projects. But like I said, there has never been anything in place for us to track it or them to track it. And like I said, this was years ago that I talked to their board.
So are we thinking about, he mentioned a process for things. Do we have a process now where we're going to start tracking it for the years to come?
We can build that process off of what Chris and I are doing to find out what this one is.
Maintain it, just so we know
And
everything.
then maintain it after that.
So is everybody good with just walking away from everything that we should have been getting? 10 years, you could be looking at $500,000 easy.
I'll go back as far as you guys want me to. It's gonna be expensive though.
And do they have the funds to reimburse us? That's another key. What are you gonna do?
Then you get into thinking about, well, do you want to sue them for it? Because that's probably the only way you're gonna get it.
When you said 750, was that for 1 year's worth of?
Yes.
So roughly 750 a year, if we think.
And we could do that in-house if we needed to. All you do is you use Beacon and you go online and use the court records. Or you can use Beacon and you can go over to the public access and use it over there.
We
don't
we
have
can
to do
get,
it outside. We can do it inside.
actually, the county sends us, or used to send us, this one we got this year. They send us tax books. They're just in electronic form now compared to what they used to be. And that has all of the information on it, other than you just have to take that assessed value, total it up for the two districts, which is what the work that he's doing now is to separate the two districts. And then for Pearl Junction, it's 0.2934, I think. And for Joplin, it's 0.2243, I think.
And I just ran it at 0.23 because not knowing how many of them were in, actually 0.25 would have been more accurate to get an average. But at 0.23, you're $66,000 a year for the last year. And so, it's more than that. It's probably going to be 70 at least for last year. And then the years before that. And yeah, like I said, they probably don't have the money now. But
This one doesn't. Joplin Special.
But when we went, when we talked years ago, and this may have been even before I got on when we were in the old city hall about the roundabout, and Joplin Special was going to pay part, and we were going to pay part, and everything else, and then they said they didn't have it. We could have had that roundabout, and we could have had it between now and, even if you went back 10 years, that would have paid for that roundabout.
What kind of time, manpower, are you thinking if we did it in-house and figured that out, how long would that take you? I don't know, 5 years?
No, all you have to do is you go in and you could go in on Beacon and you can find the township and section and all of that numbers, you can search. And you just go into Beacon to get that, to find out what your townships are, or you can look at the big map that they have over at the county courthouse. And
What
then
I'm-
you
What I'm
plug,
asking though is, how long is it gonna take you
it
guys to
doesn't,
do that?
it wouldn't take that long. I mean, it takes me probably 2 or 3 days to do the valuation for the fire district when I help them out for Airport Drive. Now you're dealing with a much bigger area, but all you have to do is go in then on the county website and you search using those sections, and it'll give you the whole list of taxpayers. You click on every one and you can see what taxes they pay.
Right.
So, I mean, it's
understand- I
time
understand
consuming.
that you know how to do it. What I'm asking is, do they know how to do it? The staff that is going to have to do it
It's
in the time that it's. gonna
it's
take?
not brain surgeon. I mean, it would take going in and learning how to do it, but it would probably take maybe a couple weeks to do it.
Okay.
But if you're talking
I
60,
can't,
70,000.
none of us can devote 8 hours a day to just one project.
That's asking.
No.
That's what you wanted to do.
Yes.
So,
That's not gonna happen. So it will take longer just because of that. When you're paying somebody like we're paying, that's a project, they can focus on it.
How long is it gonna take to get the answer back from last year?
I've actually got a partial answer back already, just don't have the totals yet. We're still, because the county sent out their information in a PDF, and so they're having to convert that PDF to an Excel, and then making adjustments to the cells to make sure that the cells are right, so that then you can go in and change it.
So once we get that amount, are we gonna like send them an invoice? Are we gonna call them? What are we gonna do?
We'll put it in writing. We won't just, it will be in writing. This is something that you want a paper trail on of trying to do. Previous county commissioners knew about this. And we're working to disband the Carl Junction Road District, which we don't have anything to do with it. That's their deal. If they want to do that, that's fine. If they don't want to do it, whatever. But they wanted to roll it into county common. But they have a pretty dedicated employee out there that's close to retirement, and they just were being nice and keeping him around, and
So I get it's going to be time consuming, but is there nobody in this office that could not put in a couple weeks for $70,000?
between all of us, absolutely. there
And
is.
if we go back even 5 years and took 2 weeks, you could be talking $300,000. Between $250,000 and $300,000, and that's not worth somebody's putting in 2 weeks.
I know you keep talking about these past money and everything, but the only way you're gonna get that past money is if you wanna sue them for it. Okay, there is no other way that you're gonna get it. At that point, when you have to hire attorneys, and I'm sure Mr. Talley is not really
You
to
know,
handle
but
this,
right,
the amount of money that you spend on that's what you have to decide. Whether it's gonna be worth spending the money for an attorney and going through the court process to get that amount. If you just do the 1 year, we have a lot better chance of getting that money. But I understand what you're saying about all of that money that we've missed in the past.
Yeah.
Absolutely we have.
So how long has this been all along since the road district was formed? That this was the law?
I know, I remember some doing stuff for us.
Yeah, I
Joplin
know.
Special Road District, of course, I remember them doing some stuff for
I
us.
do too,
Yeah,
but
this
I'm
has been-
asking.
This
Yeah,
is not
they
a,
do
this is
stuff
not
for
a
us.
problem
Okay,
that is
I
uncommon.
mean, they paved,
municipality.
What was it, Fur Road?
Okay, I'm not asking that. I'm asking, has this been, since it was formed and since they were approved to levy, has it been that they were supposed to do 25% either in money or in kind work?
I would have to go back and look and see when that statute was put in place. I
Because
have
we
no idea.
really screwed the pooch on this. Okay, well, I guess you're gonna work on the 2024. So,
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to see, they get so much in 2024, then you have to send them a letter. You have to tell them, 25% of your revenue is this, you owe us this much stuff. Now, will you please tell us what the amount that you gave Carl Junction in work in kind to offset this money you owe us? That's what you need to do.
they didn't do 75.
No, they may only have 5,000,
Yeah,
but you want to ask them how much, what they spent in kind contributions for that 25%, and tell us exactly what those things were.
And if you
That's
want,
what you want to do.
if you want to go back in history, you have to do that for every year.
You have to go back in it for
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
But
that's
you
not a
got to,
problem.
if they have money, that's another thing.
But if we didn't pay our bills, would anybody go, well, you don't have money, so you're good? I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying, but that does not forgive what is by law.
So so we can just build down to this building and not have a bond revenue and not pay anybody.
Right,
and then
that's
they're
what
gonna
I'm
say,
saying.
no, we can't do that.
Then they can't either. They're a taxing entity.
That's right. They can't do it either.
Right. So just, I don't care if they don't, I mean, I care, but that's not our problem. That would be like anybody else that owed us money and we go, oh, well, they overdrew their account. So I'm just saying, I know at this point, there's probably absolutely nothing we can do about it.
It is not an uncommon problem that other municipalities have with road districts. Another thing that prompted it was part of an email from another city manager wanting to know who had MOUs with their road districts, to lay out things. Very few do.
Well, the second thing is what's going on with the DNR? Are we getting fines?
No.
So what happened with 3 of the 7 we didn't?
3 of the 7 we did not do good enough for them to do. We did not document educational training stuff. We did not document that well enough for them. And the other big one was that our inspection form that we are using or had used, which was okay back in 2018, is not okay now. And so they didn't accept our documentation on good housekeeping and pollution prevention, on the city facilities side. And then they, one thing they did dock us on, but I was able to find the documentation on, was they said that we didn't hold a meeting and public hearing when we adopted this new MS4 permit plan back in 2021. But we did.
I was gonna say, I thought we did that.
Yeah, we did. We found it after the audit. We found it when it was and got that one taken care of.
So do you have a new inspection form set up?
Yep.
Okay.
I've got new inspection forms. I've got the educational material plan. I've already got material out to the employees that need to be involved in that. Already got it out to them. There's some work that the engineers are going to have to do on our mapping for MS4 things that they hadn't done. So that's in process too. And so I've almost gotten the response letter written to DNR.
Did we get fined?
No. The way the MS4 program works for the yes, these audits are, fact finding on their end, but they don't slap anybody's hand for being out of compliance on them. They try really hard to be more educational. No, you need to be doing this, no, we need to change this so that that they're, so that we're following the guidelines better.
So we've got how long to get everything back to them?
End of the month.
Is that gonna be doable?
Anything else? Very well, we'll move on to department reports. Let's see what I got here. Public Works.
No water shut-offs?
I don't know, was this the Thanksgiving thing?
New Year's.
Any comments for Jay? I guess one thing on Public Works will work out, I guess you noticed that people have been trying to kick in the vents on the Lakeside Park doors. And I asked Steve, we're gonna try and go out and get a quote to get some security cameras put up. They've already broken into it one time into the restrooms and now they're beating on the things again. So I've asked him to get some quotes. I wanted to make sure he had some very high resolution cameras out there.
You realize that they tore up Country Club again, right?
I did that.
More
Need to get them out there too.
Yep.
We got to get them in. We got optic out there now. We can get some good high resolution cameras in and we can get these people, find out who they are.
I met with Mid Central today at both parks, and they're going to draw something up for us. And I've got parts ordered for
Is that the new one?
Lakeside Park,
Lakeside's a new one.
and then I've got a contractor going to give me an estimate on repairs out at Country Club.
And please tell me that we can consider, since we know Mid Central's going to come back with a big number, that we consider what I talked to you about, that do Ring, do Blink, whatever you have. You can save it to the cloud and we can get them for what you see, $600 or something.
Yeah, just equipment only was $600. They're a 1060p camera. They're
And that's all you
pretty
need.
good.
You hook them into the Wi-Fi and it will save to the cloud and it could go to they could link it in on
We just
one
want
of
to make sure that we get those hardwired in and not changing the batteries, have the
It's-
guys go out and charge. That's not.
It's gonna
That's
suck, but so do $750 doors.
Are the lights in operation at Country Club?
Yeah, they did get those fixed. There were 7 of them out, but we drove around and they got them fixed. But it's the side away from the playground and stuff, so it's not as they can,
Parts to repair those doors was only $250.
on these.
Yeah.
This time it was.
Yeah, they kick in those vents, because those vents.
Oh, you mean those vents?
Yeah, those are replaced.
But Country Club is
Yeah,
gonna
I
be.
know the Country Club is gonna be more. than that.
It's probably
They
gonna
did
hit
some
a
damage
felony
to the
level.
building too. This
Yeah.
time what they did was they tore apart a soccer goal that was left out there, and they used that pipe as a weapon against the building. They poked a couple of holes in the building with it, and that's a cement fiber building, so it's fairly tough.
Well, I've got Blink cameras. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I don't think the resolution's that great.
I think
I
if you
think
put them
that-
there, we've
I
got
think
Blink and Ring, and I think it'll be
I've
good
got
enough to
Ring.
get somebody.
On mine, and their resolution is better than what the Blink is.
I just got Blink.
It'll be good enough that if you've got them close enough to where you can see who's tearing up the doors and stuff. And I think even if you had them at the playground, it would be good enough that a SRO could probably tell you if it was a kid. They could probably recognize it.
I think what we want to make sure of is that the cameras themselves are as vandal-proof as possible too.
Well, the thing is, it's recording to the cloud, so if they tear up the camera,
You're gonna get it right.
you're
up to
gonna
that
get
point
it,
where they-
and then you just
Which-
add that to the
yeah.
amount that they have to.
Which we've done that before.
Yeah.
I did that with the camera inside the building here. The kid threw a basketball at the camera like 6 times before he finally hit it.
So he was a vandal and a bad aim.
Yeah.
Bad shot.
Okay, after I brought that up, I guess that's, nothing else for Public Works? PD? I didn't see a deal for PD.
PD, what are you gonna do about these vandalisms?
There you go.
memo, for the night shift officers to control the parks for them.
Great, thank you.
I don't see a building inspector's report. And I guess that's it on department. What?
I had a question.
Sure.
Peggy.
Yeah.
Are we losing officers again?
No, we.
I saw an ad on Facebook where they were advertising for them.
We still have nobody for 2.
Anything else for PD?
That was all I had.
Any comments on building inspector's report we don't have? I think that'll be next month, or next meeting, I guess. Treasurer's report probably be next meeting too, since we don't have one here.
Yes.
So go on to committee reports. Budget and finance.
We need to get a budget workshop on the calendar for February 8th to do a work session. Steve had suggested, since they're doing the chamber project from 8 to 2 or 9 to 2, whatever,
9 to 2. I think.
maybe we would want to do a morning one, try to get out by noon so people could still schedule 2 hours if they wanted to volunteer. So I don't know how the budget committee members feel about starting at 8 in the morning on a Saturday, or if you want to do that and try to do like 8 and get out by noon, or if you want to start later and just, I got 2 of you here and 1 of you there. So what do you think?
8 o'clock works for me.
Doesn't matter to me either way.
Holly, does that work? And then, you know,
Yeah, fine, I guess.
Like-
I don't like it that much, but. Are everybody else gonna show up to this?
Yeah.
Jay?
Not me, I'll be out of town.
we're going to have, well, I've talked to Elena and she said she'll get a representative to come when they need.
I'll be there.
So you're not
Thank
gonna
you,
be
Jay.
there?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, you're gonna be there.
Yeah,
I'll
we-
be there.
What are you talking about, a representative?
of like the department heads,
Oh.
like Jay or,
Okay.
and Chief.
Right.
I just don't, I think Chief said he could probably be
Yeah.
leaving the house by then, as long as we're not all norovirusing him or anything.
All right, and I do have a soccer game at 12:30, so we can kind of be out on time.
We'll aim to be out by noon. So on the 8th, and it's here, and it will be open to the public. So there you go. And we've even had requests to put it out on YouTube. So we can talk more about that between now and then, if we want to try to do it. We'll see about that part.
Anything else for budget? Code and nuisance, Rick?
Nothing at this time.
Anything for code and nuisance? Human resources, Roger?
Nothing.
We had some forms to turn in today.
There you
We're missing
Got 'em
one
all
still,
but
right?
Yeah.
I'll try and take care of that. Get it in.
Say, it was Bob that
Yeah.
handed it off at Walmart Neighborhood Market there.
Oh, okay.
Last year. It was Bob, so it will probably be the same.
Okay,
And-
yeah, he's gone tonight. He's got grandkids.
Do you want to close the session on the next agenda?
I think we should.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else for human resources? Public facilities, David?
Nothing this evening, sir.
Anything for David? Economic development, Holly?
Nothing from me, thank you.
Very well then. Unfinished business, Carol?
Nothing.
Walter?
No, sir.
David?
No, sir.
Ladonna?
No.
I have nothing. Roger?
Nothing.
Rick?
No, sir.
Holly?
No.
Mr. Talley?
No.
Elena?
No, sir.
Crystal?
No, sir.
Steve?
No, sir.
Jay?
No, sir.
Steve?
No, sir.
Very well. New business, Holly?
Did you give these for me to?
No, I gave them all to you, and if you wanted to hand them out, you can.
We're gonna discuss
Pass them
this
down the
next
road.
week.
I thought it would be good to get everybody preliminary so that next meeting, when we talk about it, they've got the basis.
So some of us are working on a farmer's market. I put together this MOU, just so we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
and we're gonna discuss this next week.
I've got it on my phone.
Got more than one.
I've got it on my phone.
So go over this. If you have any questions, feel free to get with me. Thank you.
Anything else? Rick?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Roger? I have no new business. Donna?
Real quick, and this is going to be the most unusual new business I brought up, and I was really surprised when I got the message about it from a resident that was concerned. But as it turns out, it was on the national news, which is what's prompting. I was contacted by a resident concerned because their neighbor that backs up to their yard keeps chickens and was concerned, wanted to know what the city was doing, the approach they were taking, if they were setting any policy because of bird flu, which I had never even thought of it. And I told him it never even crossed my mind. So I did some follow-up because I said I would. And I did call Debbie at the health department. She said it was on the national news, so people have been asking. There have been no reported cases for I don't know how long, even in poultry. There have been some in Jasper County in the past at some of the poultry farms, but nothing recently. There has been a human death in the United States, but at this point, she does not know of any active. They've had no active or no reports of anything, Jasper County or surrounding counties. But that is what the concern came from. But said it was on the national news, but it's basically migratory birds that carry it, and that's why they get into the large poultry farms and everything where they have open. So we should be okay, but that's the concern, and I told her I would bring it up. So since she asked, maybe some others want to know too. So we should be safe. Assume we're safe for now. I'm passing that information on from the health department.
Yeah, I read about that today. There's been no case of human to human transfer of it.
Right. So that's the only thing I have.
David?
Steve, we have a custodial staff member for this facility now.
We do, got one hired. It's actually the lady that works for Jana King. She's just gonna come over and work for us part-time, take care of us, the PD, and maybe even go down to Public Works and take care of down there and clean it up. She's excited. The first thing she asked me, she was, can I do some of the things that Jana King wouldn't let me? And I said, absolutely. You just tell me what you need. Get it taken care of for you.
Has she started in that capacity?
No, she'll start February 1st. We had to give Jana King 30 days.
Thank you.
Anything else? Walt?
No.
Darrell?
No, sir.
Charlie? Lynn? Crystal? Steve? Jay?
So, sir.
Assistant Chief?
No, sir.
Is there any other business before the council?
Take a motion, we adjourn.
Mr. Roger Spencer, second by Rick Flinley, we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, 1 absent, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Jay, can I see you and Steve for a minute?